Star Citizens, and welcome to another episode of Star Citizen Nightly. I think this is the Wednesday edition, so this should be like episode 21. Can't believe I did 21 of these already. I know they're not actually nightly. Sometimes I skip a day, but hey, we're trying not to burn out over here, so that's what we do. So let's just hop straight into this one, and because we got a lot to go over, but it's really just one big thing to go over. So let's first go over the Evocati thing, though. Quick update on the Evocati. You can see here, still 3 things not ready for testing feedback. Cargo hauling missions, cargo commodity rebalance, dynamic event blockade runner, still not ready. Personalized and instance hangars are in, and they're working on, and they're part of the testing feedback now. We can see that there's a few fixes for those here. So that's really good. There's some gameplay features in here. So made further aerodynamic updates to enable ships to yaw more. So that yaw, I don't know if you can see this. Yaw would be like up and down. Or, oh, no, I'm sorry. That's wrong. Yaw is like this, left and right on the same plane. So that's yaw. This is pitch. So I don't know. Right now, it's faster to yaw than it is, or it's faster to pitch than it is to yaw. So you don't want it, like if you're tracking a target, you don't want to track it like this. You want to turn and track it like this. So like if something's going past you like this, you turn and then track it. That's faster than if you just track it with yaw. So maybe they're matching that up so that people don't have to do that anymore. I kind of liked it that way because it required you to actually have a little bit of skill, because you had to know how to like turn your ship right. You couldn't just like, oh, well, let me just track it with my mouse, or whatever. So I thought that was pretty cool. And then it says it set all small hangars to size 2 to let size 3 ships spawn in medium hangars. So for example, the Crusader Spirit will now be in a medium-sized hangar. So that's really good. Because you want every person to get the hangar that is fit for their ship. I think all of my ships are large except for like the smallest hangars. So obviously I'm just pulling out what's the biggest single ship I have? I think I don't know which one's bigger. I think the Hammerhead's bigger than the Reclaimer. The Reclaimer would be the biggest. Reclaimer would be the biggest one I have. It's either the Reclaimer or the Hammerhead that's the biggest that I have. So I'm going to pull that one out, and that's going to be my hangar. I want that gigantoid hangar. Anyway, bug fixes. They fixed some missing ATC missing vehicle inventory info stuff. The ASOP toggles in and out of focus. They fixed that. Multiple areas of Area 18 have Visaria portal issues. I don't know what that is. But they fixed it. The Nomad's remote turret displays 3 Badger weapons in its HUD. All right. So not too many big fixes. You can pause and read all the known issues there. And then, yeah, we're going to hop off of this fairly quickly because we need to get to the big news. The monthly report. Okay. I've had enough. All right. So I didn't actually read this ahead of time. So I'm actually going to go through and just read it. I'm not going to read it to you, but I'm going to, read it along with you. So this is AI. So we'll go and we'll just stop at a few of these. We won't read the whole thing, of course. June saw AI features improving the behaviors of grouped NPCs for a more consistent combat experience. To do this, they added an object representing the group that shares perception information about targets at an appropriate time. So there's more to it, but essentially groups are going to start working together to attack you rather than it just being like, oh, this AI and they're just attacking you at random, which I like because then that'll make the combat a little bit harder, which again increases the skill level that you need in order to achieve the win. And then this is development tools, so I'm not really going to talk about those, but I do want to see this tech. So this is optimizing parts of the vision system used by NPCs. So NPC visibility check computation to the client. This will help when there are multiple players on the same server, giving improvements to reaction time and frame rate. So I like that. This is animation. We'll skip over those. Character concept art. They're exploring designs for utility armors and completed handoff sheet for specialist armors while the hair team kicked off new beards and hairstyles. So they kicked them off, which means they're probably not going to be ready for 4.0. At least it doesn't look like it if they're just starting them now. But then again, we don't know when we're getting 4.0. My guess is 4.0 is going to come in 4 months. But with how long it took 3.24 to come into existence, I'm not sure we'll get it then. So it should. I mean, actually, I would say 3 months is when we should be getting it. We should be getting it at CitizenCon, or at the very least after CitizenCon, like the day after CitizenCon, or maybe by IAE. Maybe they'll show us everything for 4.0 and then we get it by IAE. I would say IAE is more likely, but let's keep moving. So the ship team progressed with the RSI Polaris, getting close to finishing the interior for the Greybox. The exterior is heading toward final content with the parallax occlusion mapping. The RSI Zeus Mark II is also approaching its final content review. I am hoping that I get a Mark II in some way, like as a loaner, because if I don't, then I'll just I'll probably just grab one in some other way. I don't think I have a ship that can do bounty hunting, like that's specifically made for bounty hunting, like I guess like QED and stuff like that. But I want to see what this new Saber looks like before I do anything. But that's very cool. Looks like we're getting the Zeus Mark II soon, and we're getting the Polaris. I think we're gonna get the Polaris at CitizenCon. I think that's when we'll get it. That just makes the most sense for us to get it around CitizenCon. 3 months from now, I mean, if you look at 3 months ago, what they were working on, I think we could get it in 3 months. But again, all this stuff could end up taking until IAE, which is in November. So we have to just kind of wait and see. So they did the Drake Ironclad Q&A, which was really cool. This is a bunch of community stuff. Looks like everybody was having fun. I got to get out to a Bar Citizen. This was the big one here. The is that Morphologist? Yeah, that's Morphologist there. I don't know if I noticed that maybe I did notice that was him. I think I saw him talking to John Crew. If you didn't know, this is John Crew, and then this is, what is it? Is it Aaron Roberts? Eric Roberts? I can't remember what his name is. Why can I not remember what his name is? I know he's Chris Roberts' brother. I know that much. I can't remember his name, but you are important, sir. I just have a bad memory. But yeah, this is the Shenzhen thing. That's cool that they got Morphologist there. He's one of the bigger YouTubers here. I think he's like #1 in referrals or something out of like everyone. So, which is crazy. But yeah, more down here. Oh, Chris Roberts, of course, was there. That makes sense because it's a big deal. For people who are wondering why, China is a big deal as far as getting the game in, the amount of money that will come from China and the amount of people that are interested in the game in China is massive. It's absolutely massive. There's a huge PC player base in Canada. On top of that, MMOs are huge, or not in Canada, in China. And MMOs are huge in China. From all my experience with my friends that are Chinese that actually live in China, they have told me like that MMOs are a massive deal. And on top of that, in order to get into the country, there's a lot of rules and stuff as far as businesses and partnerships and things that have to be made. So it makes sense to set the groundwork now so that by the time the game releases, all of the kinks can be worked out. If you're wondering why there's this huge focus on China, it's because it's a little bit more difficult to break into that particular country, even though this stuff is super popular there. But also money-wise, it makes sense because that will bring a lot of money into Star Citizen, and which will then with Squadron 42, and then bring even more money to Star Citizen. Because if you didn't know, the more people that play Star Citizen, the more money CIG makes, the more likely we are to get this whole thing finished. And yeah, CIG is a business too, so remember, they got to make their money. All right, moving down to core gameplay. So it looks like Maelstrom is moving along. This provides a fresh set of features such as new unified mesh format grids and things like that. I don't want to go too deep into this, but this is basically just saying Maelstrom is moving along. And it says the transit engineers are continued supporting the upcoming Alpha 3.24 release. Radar and scanning work was completed to allow FPS ping to be used from certain seats. The first being in vehicles that lack their own radar. So that's going to be something that changes. The devs now are able to apply different colors for different factors such as hostility, and several other parameters were added to highlight the effect of fine-tuning and visuals and stuff like that. Looks like we got vehicle brackets, nameplates, distance and parameter things we got going on. Let's see what else we got. Finally, we got more radar and scanning, and then we got delta signatures. So this has vehicles emit signatures when certain actions are performed, such as ping activation, the activation of quantum boost, and the changing of master modes. That's huge. So basically, when you do those things now, like even if you're like a stealth ship, and I talk about stealth ships all the time because I got my Firebird, but I might not have my Firebird for long. It might end up being a whatever the other Saber is. So we'll see which one is better for stealth, because that's which one I want. But if you have a low signature and then you do something like, oh, let me see where the enemies are by pinging, that's going to make you pop up real quick. So you got to be careful when you're trying to do that. Your best bet is to get like close enough and get them on your scanners because of their signatures, rather than trying to ping to find them wherever they're at. So you just get close enough and you just stay outside of that range where they can reach you, but you need to know what that range is, obviously. And then if you go into quantum, you change master mode, you're just going to light up like a Christmas tree for a second. That doesn't mean everybody will see it, but I like that because it adds some more interesting gameplay to the game. What else we got here? Art stuff, FPS horde mode stuff, playtest. EVA only map. Wow. Oh, okay. Well, they did it, but I guess there was some balance concerns with it, so they decided not to put it in the game. But I guess I'm glad you told us about it. So now we know that we're probably not going to get that because of the balancing. Look at that. They're fixing badges. You see the issue that we had with badges before, where people's badges weren't showing up. The aggressor badge wasn't showing up. So it's very possible that because people were talking and complaining about that they're fixing it. So keep on complaining, Star Citizens. I don't have to tell you that. People are going to complain anyway. But at least make them useful and complain on the website so that the developers actually change things. The economy team progressed with task and pyro, so they're working on shops. Effort versus reward algorithm is being changed so that mission rewards are balanced. We need this because right now it seems like you can only do a few things to make money, and I really feel like the more effort you put in, the more rewards you should get. Not just, go and salvage a bunch and then you'll make a bunch of money, or go and do this particular cargo mission, which doesn't take as long as this other one, but it'll make you more money. So I like that. I like that they're moving towards that. It says the team worked to rebalance the prices for entire sets of items, including vehicle components, power plants, coolers, shields, quantum drives, weapons, FPS weapon attachments, ammunition, consumables, and commodities. This is going to be huge because right now a lot of this stuff is super cheap, and it's not going to stay cheap. I mean, there's some vehicle components that were pretty expensive. Like I think the quantum drive and the power plants were pretty big. Shields were big. So those three were always kind of expensive, but my guess is they're going to get even more expensive so people aren't just like swapping those out very easily. Like you're going to have to do some missions in order to swap those out. And if they're rebalancing the prices, my guess are they're also rebalancing what those values are, like making sure that they actually matter, because why would you change the price on something that doesn't actually matter? Right now they do matter. I know a lot of people don't think they matter, but they matter like a small amount. It's almost negligible how much they matter, but it depends on which parts we're talking about. So power plants are huge because they literally give you more power. So, I don't know exactly how they affect capacitors at this point, but I have a whole video on that. So just go and check out my power plants video. Coolers are where you get a more negligible thing where your weapons don't overheat as fast, but it's very small. It's hard to even notice. Shields are big because obviously there's just better shields that provide more protection. And quantum drives are big because you can focus on either speed, or you can focus on signature, like how much your quantum drive gives off, or you can also focus on distance, how far you go, even at the sake of speed. So these things matter. So I know a lot of people don't think they do, but they do. So just put the best parts in. I have videos on which parts to put in. I think I did power plants and coolers. I don't think I did quantum drives yet. I'll probably do quantum drives next, and then I'll do shields. So look out for those videos. Those will be coming out hopefully in the next week. The team's ongoing work involves a new economy for quantum and hydrogen fuel to ensure that refueling isn't a chore while maintaining the narrative feel of the large universe, while unique economies spread across the different star systems. So, I think what they're going to do is I think they're going to give better like fuel to everything. Like, I don't think they want people refueling as much as they currently have to. I think they want pretty much every ship to be able to like go the distance, go one way towards anywhere in the verse, and then fuel there. So if you watched my Kraken review, then you'll know that I have this new system where I'm working it out, and I like rate them on 5 levels and stuff. And so I think that might change based on this, but it's good to know that they're paying attention to this stuff. You got to remember, like, sometimes people are only going to want to hop into this game for 1 hour and be done. So if they get in and it takes them, yes, they could get to the other end of the verse, but they have to stop 17 times, and then they spend that entire time refueling. Like, oh, I had to stop 6 times to refuel, and now I'm done with my hour of gameplay. So now, like, I'm done. So I don't think they want that to be. I think they want the game to be a little more snappier than that. I think we've already moved to the point of realism, and now we're moving back towards the point of fun. So it's good to see them actually doing that. Let's see what else we got. Graphics. I mean, the graphics in Star Citizen are always great, so I don't really feel like the need to read too much into that. Graphics are already great. I want them to focus more on gameplay, so including new navigational signage for Pyro and graffiti for Ruin Station. Okay. Interactables, liquid containers. This is going to be big. I cannot wait. So these are used for blockade runner missions. Hazardous containers are worked on too. So like, this is obviously showing you something that can explode, or it could be, maybe it was damaged, but the way that's leaning outward like that, I mean, I'm not like a detective, but I would guess that means something exploded out of that. Not that that doesn't look like somebody just dropped it and it broke. Lighting is going to get better. They're looking at this acidic cave archetype. That's probably going to be, there's your thumbnail right there. This cave, that's pretty cool. Locations, landing zone. They're fixing bugs for cargo alongside adding to the variety of modules for Pyro. New biomes for planets, including this cave type. Narrative, let's see. Building out the lore and mission text for future large-scale event missions. So we're getting probably more of those, which is good. I know we've probably been nine-tailed and Xeno-threaded to death. And Arlington Gang. I think those are the 3 big ones, right? We get all the time. So it's time to add 2 or 3 more of those in there, so they start to feel like we're mixing it up, and then maybe we can just have a large scale event every month, and it'll feel like, if we get it out to 12, we can have one every month, and it'll always feel like something is happening at a large scale. Let's see. This month also saw, oh, okay, they got the lore makers thing. Of course, we got that. Online tech, social services, backend overhaul. So we're going to get better performance and scalability on social functionality. So chat, friends, and groups. I like that. Higher volume of concurrent users and requests. Always good. New version of Easy Anti-Cheat. And it will soon begin testing for false positives as well as testing to boot check feature on a limited sample size. So they're stepping their anti-cheat game up, and I know why, because this game is coming and they want to make sure that they are solid, because the one thing you don't want is the game launches and everything is perfect, but then there's a bunch of cheaters and then people are like, I don't want to play because there's cheaters. Then you have to convince people to come back when they leave, because they're going to be like, how do I know that you fixed it? So definitely don't want that. And this is the big one. This is why we read these right here. The networking team continued to work toward the first version of server meshing. This includes testing various configurations for the mesh and the underlying cloud infrastructure while capturing critical performance information to help fine-tune and target bottlenecks. So, server meshing, big deal. That's 4.0 basically. That's the entire reason why we're waiting for 4.0. Once we get server meshing, this game is going to be off to the races. So, there you have it. The tech art, it looks like the put on take off initiative. I don't know what that is, which is close to completion. These animations will soon be integrated into the game. Oh, so yes, I like this. So, and it also says several creatures for Alpha 4.0 were finalized, so that's good too. So, looks like they got the cows done. But the put on take off thing. So, I think it should be much more easy to do this stuff. Now, what I noticed in 3.2, 3.1, well, I don't know if it came in 0.23 or 0.1, but there's a feature now where you can just take your helmet off so you can eat and put your helmet back on afterwards, rather than like having to go through all the clunky stuff to do it. And I love that, and it should be that way for a gear. I think the only thing that's kind of unrealistic right now is the way we put on and take off armor. That should be, at the very least, it should show them like moving to take it off and then moving to put it on, moving to put on the arms, moving to put on the legs, right? Like, I think that would add some realism to it. And then we're getting a better character customizer, which we all know that was coming. I'm hoping that we get new, at least little pieces of character customizer things every time we get a patch. Since they made 3.24 into a patch, I'm hoping we get some character customizer stuff there. And then on top of that, I'm hoping 4.0 brings a bunch of stuff too. So that way it always feels like we got more customization coming every single time. And then VFX, they're working on the Zeus, which we talked about earlier. We're getting new biome archetypes, acidic caves, and new modules for Pyro, which we talked about. And fire hazards, we already know that's coming in 4.0. So yeah, that's everything that's in the monthly report. That was a pretty good one. I love monthly reports because they always remind me that there's a whole lot going on in the background that we don't see. So yeah, shout out to CIG for getting some stuff done. But yeah, give me 3.24, get that thing out of Evocati so we can get our hangers going. That's going to be huge. That's going to be huge. We do want them to work right, but we need to get that thing out of Evocati. We want to test it too. All right, let's get it out of Evocati. Let's get it to wave 1 at least. Let me see. How much time am I going to give you, CIG? How much time should I give you? You got, let's see, wave 1, you got till next Friday. I'll give you 2 days. This Friday is too soon, but you got till next Friday, and I want my wave 1. All right, wave 1 next Friday. Also, one fix before I go. Pirate Week is not in July. So I don't know why I said that like 5 times in my video. I don't know what's happening I don't know. But Pirate Week is not this week. It's just Foundation Festival. And I don't know which day it's going to be on. But I think it's next week. I'm not 100% certain. So I still don't know what ship I'm going to give away. I'll wait until Foundation Festival actually comes to see if there's like a ship. So if I'll give it till like the 15th of the month. And if I don't see anything, then I'll probably just go with the Drake Vulture as far as this ship giveaway. So there we have it. At the very least, you'll get a Drake Vulture unless there's something else that comes by the 15th. But you'll know on the 15th what it is. So make sure you like or dislike. Make sure you leave a comment, and make sure you're subscribed, and you will be entered to win that. All right, that's it for this one. I will see you in the next one. Peace.